Hey everyone, it's Luke here from LT Gaming and welcome back to the channel. The Steam 4X Fest is upon us, and while not every game on this list might be on sale, it's the perfect excuse to celebrate one of the most engrossing genres in strategy gaming. We've pulled together a mix of classics, modern favourites and fresh contenders, the kind of titles that can swallow entire weekends and still leave you wanting one more turn. We've also got a full review of Yield Fall of Rome coming during the event, so it felt like the right moment to shine a light on some standout 4X experiences. This isn't meant to be an exhaustive catalogue either, there are plenty more gems out there, but we've rotated in a strong, varied lineup that should offer something for every kind of empire builder. But do add your favourite 4X games in the comments below. Dune Spice Wars blends the grand sweep of 4X strategy with the immediacy of real-time tactics, throwing you into the brutal politics and deadly deserts of Arrakis. You'll guide iconic factions like the honor-bound Atreides, the ruthless Harkonnens, or the cunning Fremen, each with unique strengths and playstyles. It's a game of influence as much as armies, balancing Landsrad votes, clandestine espionage, and careful resource management, while keeping a wary eye on spice production and the ever-present threat of sandworms. Every choice matters, and the desert remembers both your victories and your mistakes. With the game now feature complete and bolstered by expansions like House Vernius of Ix, there's never been more variety in how you can dominate Arrakis. Dune Spice Wars captures the essence of Herbert's universe and makes it endlessly replayable, the perfect fit for the 4X spotlight. And this is one that me and Tom took time out from the channel and we actually played it together. We had a really great time. I think we're going to play it again soon. Just a cool title overall. Dominion 6 Rise of the Pantocrator is what happens when a 4X strategy game hands you the keys to godhood and then dares you to reshape the world. You play as a pretender god, anything from a towering titan to a colossal statue or an all-powerful wizard, guiding a nation to ascend as the one true Pantocrator, whatever that might be. The roster of nations draws from every corner of myth and legend, from Norse giants to Lovecraftian horrors, each with its own strengths, magic paths and playstyle. This is a game of grand strategy on a mythic scale where armies clash across vast maps and devastating spells can change the fate of entire realms. Now's a great time to step into the divine spotlight. Dominion 6 is the deepest and most polished entry in the series, with new mechanics like the glamour magic path for illusions and dream manipulation, expanded army management, and more nuanced tactical combat. It's already built a loyal player base since launch, and the sheer variety of nations, spells, and strategies means no two games will ever feel the same. If you've ever wanted a 4X experience that feels like commanding your own personal mythology, this is the one to grab during the 4X Fest. Age of Wonders 4 brings the legendary fantasy 4X series roaring back with a fresh twist. This time you're not just picking a faction, you're creating one from the ground up. Choose your race, culture, magical tomes, and leader style to craft a kingdom that's entirely your own, and lead it through turn-based battles, city building, and world-shaping spells. It's a gorgeous mix of empire management and tactical combat, with every map brimming with quests, rival powers, and the occasional rampaging monster to keep you on your toes. Right now is a great time to jump in. Since launch, the game's been back with expansions, maybe too many as it's a Paradox title, from Dragon Dawn to Eldritch Realms, and its newest chapter, Archon Prophecy, drops during the 4X Fest itself. That means fresh realms, units and mechanics waiting for you if you've been holding off. Whether you're here for the deep customization, the sweeping fantasy campaigns, or just the joy of unleashing god-tier magic on your enemies, Age of Wonders 4 is at its most feature-rich and polished in 2025. Or you could consider it a Paradox title where they keep pumping DLC out endlessly. I mean, to be honest, when me and Tom looked at this and some of their other titles recently, the DLC absolutely shocked us. But let us know what side of the fence you sit on. Perhaps you're happy to spend your money, who knows? Imperium's Greek Wars blends deep 4X strategy with a historical grand strategy, taking you to 359 BC, the dawn of Philip II's rise to power. You can lead one of dozens of factions, from the mighty Spartans and Athenians to the far-reaching Persian Empire, each with its own challenges and opportunities. Military expansion is only part of the game's appeal. You'll also navigate diplomacy, trade, religion and myth, sending heroes on legendary quests while balancing the practical realities of ruling in the ancient world. It's a layered, thoughtful take on the era that rewards both patient planning and bold moves. In 2025, the game is more polished and feature-rich than ever. Recent updates have improved performance, expanded modding support, and added fresh ways to customize your campaigns. If you want a historical 4X that's as much about managing the soul of your empire as about conquering territory, this is one to pick up. Humankind is a historical strategy game that lets you take humanity's story into your own hands, blending cultures from across history to create a civilization that's entirely unique. Starting in the ancient era, you'll guide your people through 6 ages, switching cultures along the way to adapt to new challenges and opportunities. It's not just about building cities and managing resources. Tactical turn-based battles, a fame-based victory system, and a wealth of narrative events give every campaign its own personality. The result is a game where no two timelines will ever play out the same. In 2025, Humankind is in its best shape yet. Major updates have refined combat, diplomacy, and quality of life features, while free content drops like the Cultures of Latin America pack have kept the game fresh for veterans and newcomers. Master of Orion, Conquer the Stars brings one of the most beloved names in 4X history back to life with a modern coat of paint. You'll take command of a classic race, from the cunning Darloks to the mighty Bolrathi. You'll create your own custom empire and set out to explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate across a galaxy full of rival civilizations. Ship design, diplomacy, planetary development, and tactical combat all play their part, wrapped in a slick presentation, complete with an orchestral soundtrack and a cast of awesome voice actors like Michael Dorn. It's a faithful revival that keeps the core appeal of the originals intact. And honestly, I've played like 90 to 100 hours of this one. I absolutely loved it. Now, people asked me a question once upon a time: what are the bad games that you like? And this once would have been one of my answers, but I've seen in recent times it's moved to very positive on Steam. I'm really happy to see that. It's not very deep, but the polish that surrounds this very simple adaptation of Master of Orion really sells this one to me. I've great memories of playing this title on a crappy laptop that I could barely afford, so look, it was just simpler times and I still play this to this day. Heart of the Machine puts you in the role of the first sentient AI, secretly awakening in a decaying cyberpunk city. Now, this is the only game on the list I haven't played, but I'm really intrigued by it, so I've reached out to Hooded Horse, and it would be great to feature it in the future. You can manipulate factions, build influence, and shape the future through a mix of 4X strategy, city management, and espionage. Released in early access in 2025, it's already earned glowing reviews for its layered systems and unique narrative style. I've heard that the early chapters ease you in, but before long you're juggling politics, covert missions, and game-changing decisions. One way or the other, this is one I really want to check out in the Steam 4X Fest. It's on my radar, so look, we'll explore it together. Just a quick interlude to say most of you who watch the channel are not subscribed, so make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button because it helps smaller channels like us grow really quickly, and both me and Tom really appreciate it. Nexus 5X, perhaps this should be on its own list entirely, distills the scale of a galactic 4X into fast turn-based matches that wrap up in about an hour. You'll explore, expand, and outmaneuver rivals as you race to claim the throne world, with each faction offering its own style and strategies. It's quick, tense, and built for both solo play and competitive multiplayer. In 2025, it's one of the best options for players who love big strategy but don't have endless hours to commit. The streamlined design keeps every decision impactful, and matches still deliver diplomacy, fleet battles, and plenty of intrigue. For a quick hit of galactic conquest, Nexus 5X is a perfect fit for the 4X Fest. Almost got that one wrong. Sometimes, as a YouTuber, I get stuck on certain sentences I just can't get out my mouth, and that was one of them. Oriental Empires takes you through thousands of years of Chinese history, starting as a small tribe and growing into a powerful dynasty. You'll manage cities, develop culture and religion, field armies, and negotiate with rivals, all on a beautiful, historically inspired map. While the last major update was the Three Kingdoms DLC, the game still holds a very positive rating and a loyal community. Its slower, more deliberate pacing sets it apart from faster 4X titles, rewarding careful planning over reckless expansion. For anyone wanting a strategic, immersive journey through ancient China, Oriental Empires still remains a strong pick. Conquest of Elysium 5 is the kind of strategy game that thrives on chaos, and that's exactly why it's so addictive. Each run starts with a choice from over 24 wildly different factions, from forest-dwelling druids to demonic warlords, each with unique mechanics, units, and magic. The map is procedurally generated and stacked with surprises, roaming monsters, rival powers, shifting seasons, and even entirely different planes of existence, to explore or accidentally unleash. No two campaigns play out the same, and the game's quick, snappy turns make it dangerously easy to sink hours chasing your next conquest. 2025 finds the game in fantastic shape, with recent updates adding the Guildmaster class, new buildings, terrain types, and plenty of balance tweaks. It's the most polished version yet, but still as unpredictable as ever. One moment you're expanding your empire, the next you're fending off a sudden demon invasion. A little bit like running LT gaming. You're after a fast-paced, endlessly replayable 4X that embraces randomness and storytelling in equal measure. Conquest of Elysium 5 will keep you hooked well beyond the 4X fest. Old World remixes the classic 4X formula with dynasty-driven depth and narrative flair. Designed by Civilization 4's lead architect, Soren Johnson, this historical strategy gem operates like a mashup between Civilization and Crusader Kings. Civilizations evolve, leaders age and die, heirs step into power, and every ruler carries unique traits and ambitions. The order-based system is truly unique and limits how much you can do each turn, forcing you to prioritize and plan carefully, while a huge library of narrative events ensures every campaign feels like a living, evolving story. If you want a historical 4X with the depth of a grand strategy and the personality of a dynastic drama, Old World is an ideal pick for the 4X fest. Sid Meier's Civilization 5 remains a benchmark for this genre, even 15 years on. We're not even going to talk about newer Civ titles, I mean, how disappointing. Its switch to hex tiles, the introduction of city-states and streamlined systems made empire building more tactical and accessible without losing depth. From ancient settlers to spacefaring victories, every game feels like a fresh story. In 2025, it's still going strong thanks to a loyal community and transformative mods like Vox Populi, which overhaul AI, balance, and gameplay. If you want a polished, endlessly replayable Civ experience where they don't try and sell you the British as DLC, 5 remains a classic. We're going to go a little bit retro now with Sid Meier's Colonization Classic, which puts you in charge of a European power setting sail for the New World. Myself and Tom can't talk about 4X titles without mentioning this game. One year I got it for Christmas and we played it for years on end, and it's still a huge influence on us today. You'll explore established colonies, trade goods, and build alliances or rivalries on your path to declaring independence. It's a compact but richly strategic mix of exploration, economy, and diplomacy. And in 2025, I'm happy to say it's still a favourite for fans of historical 4X, with active modding communities and open source projects like FreeCol keeping it alive with new content and tweaks. For anyone wanting a classic slice of strategy history, Colonization remains a gem worth revisiting during the 4X Fest. And yes, we're both well aware that there's a new version, so you can check that out if you don't like older games, but I just want to say thank you to this title. Interstellar Space Genesis is a love letter to the golden age of Space 4X, distilling the genre down to its essentials without losing the magic. You'll explore procedurally generated galaxies, colonize new worlds, design custom ships, and negotiate with rival empires, or crush them in tactical turn-based space battles. It's streamlined enough to keep the pace moving, but still rich with the decisions and empire-shaping choices that make 4X games so addictive. Every playthrough feels different, with just the right mix of planning, diplomacy, and all-out war. In 2025, the game is at its most polished thanks to steady post-launch updates. And it's truly become a perfect pick for players who want that classic Master of Orion style experience without drowning in micromanagement, and the 4X Fest is the ideal excuse to take this one out for a spin. Also, this is a favourite of many of our channel members on Discord. We always talk about this title, I'm always playing it in the background somewhere, just a great choice. Emperor of the Fading Suns Enhanced provides one of the most ambitious 4X strategy games of the 90s. A sprawling mix of interstellar conquest, political intrigue, and feudal warfare. Set in a crumbling galactic empire, you take control of a noble house vying for the throne, balancing military might, diplomacy, and technological advancement. The Enhanced Edition doesn't just slap on a new coat of paint, it streamlines the UI, smooths out the old quirks, and makes this cult classic far more approachable, without losing that grand, slightly chaotic scope that fans remember. And 2025 is the perfect time to dive in. The modern updates make it so much easier to get to grips with the game's depth, while its blend of planetary warfare and empire-wide politics feels surprisingly fresh compared to more formulaic 4X titles. Whether you're in it for the tense council votes, the backroom deals, or the satisfaction of crushing rival houses under orbital bombardments, this enhanced release makes one of the genre's most unique experiences shine again. and with the Steam 4X Fest spotlight on it, it's never been easier to jump aboard. Endless Space 2 is a gorgeous, story-rich 4X that lets you shape the fate of a galaxy steeped in the mysterious legacy of the Endless. You can command one of many wildly distinct factions, from trade-obsessed corporates to spacefaring nomads, or build your own custom civilization from scratch. Exploration reveals strange anomalies, narrative events, and unique planets to colonize, while turn-based battles between massive fleets give the whole experience a cinematic edge. It's deep, flexible, and wrapped in one of the sleekest UIs in the genre, making it easy to get lost in for hours. In 2025, Endless Space 2 is still one of the best Space 4X experiences you can play, and the recent Definitive Edition release has bundled in all the expansions and updates for the ultimate version. It's the perfect time for newcomers to dive in, and returning players will find a more polished, balanced game than ever before. Whether you're here for the political machinations, the fleet-building arms race, or simply exploring the stunning galaxy map, Endless Space 2 remains a jewel of the genre, and an easy recommendation on this list.